hitting the planet. It's like, well, shit, we better bring in a new fear narrative to get people into a state of fear. Because when we're in a state of fear, we're not in a state of love. When we're in a state of fear, we're not in our power. When we're in a state of love, we are in our divine power. And that is the scariest thing, because it's empowerment. That is our awakening. You know, these results don't surprise me. Well, they kind of do. Because usually the equinox energy is for 3 days and it's high vibe and it's amazing. And something dawned on me actually before the equinox, at the beginning of the week. I was walking on the beach, as I do nearly every day. And I noticed chemtrails in the sky. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. They haven't been spraying us for a while. And I knew that then the next couple of days, the sky would be filled, you know, there would be like a cloud cover over the sky, which actually happens every time they spray, right in time for the equinox. And I kind of thought, isn't that interesting that, you know, they're spraying us and they're blanketing us in God knows what, right at a time when the frequency and the energy of the planet is so high and there are so many of us tapping into it. And then it started to make sense. There are energies on this planet, which you may be aware of or you may not be aware of, that are not here for our ascension. They are here to do everything to stop us from waking up. Some people call it the elite. Some people call it, oh my God, there's a million names for it. It doesn't really matter what the label is for it. It is here, and it is a form of control, and it is a form of keeping us asleep to our true nature, to actually, as to why we're really here. You know, our God self, to our power, right? To keep us disempowered. And this is done through things like chemtrails and chemicals and fake news and fear, a lot of fear tactics and things like that as well. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, the intention of this energy that is on the planet is to, they don't want us to awaken, because when we awaken to our power and who we truly are, they lose their power. I've received channeled information about this from my guides, and we do go into this in my book that's coming out in the later in the year. All the juicy stuff. So it makes perfect sense that they were spraying us during the equinox. It makes perfect sense that not everybody was able to have these 3 days of very high celestial energy. It makes sense that not all of us were allowed to tap into it. It makes sense that some of us were a little bit discombobulated and a bit up and down. And like I cried on Wednesday, like, you know, it was full on. So it makes sense, because the energies on this planet knew that this time was so pivotal and was so intense with the energy and the portal and allowing us to raise our vibration. They were most probably going to do what they could to stop it. And that's, you know, that's also why there's a lot of fear tactics in the media as well. And coinciding with astrological events, when there's a lot of energy hitting the planet, it's like, well, shit, we better bring in a new fear narrative to get people into a state of fear. Because when we're in a state of fear, we're not in a state of love. When we're in a state of fear, we're not in our power. When we're in a state of love, we are in our divine power. And that is the scariest thing, because it's empowerment. That is our awakening. So we override this very, very simply by understanding that, and not buying into the fear. So you don't buy into the fear of the chemtrails. You don't buy into the fear of the stories that they're telling you. This is how you rise above it. Nothing can really affect you or hurt you or have any impact on you unless you are allowing it to. Yeah? So if you feel that the chemtrails are really inherently bad for your body and the chemicals and they're calcifying the pineal gland and all that, which is the intention of the, you know, chemtrails, then if you believe that to be true, then that is the effect that you're going to have on it. There is a difference between having an awareness of something, but then also deciding not to buy into the story of that thing. And when you don't buy into the story of that thing, you free yourself from it. So this is what we really need to be aware of when different narratives get thrown at us, right? Rise above it, see it for what it is. It is an illusion, and you can buy into it and pull it into your reality if you choose. That is how powerful we are. Okay, so just be careful about what you're paying attention to, and know that we can override any energies that are affecting us, especially at high power portal times. You got to kind of laugh at it, like take it like a game. It's like, okay, cool, you can do that, but really ultimately I'm going to integrate the energies anyway. If my vibration is a little bit off kilter because of whatever, there's some undercurrent of rumblings going on in the collective consciousness and I'm being sensitive to that, then so be it. But ultimately, we have complete control over what we allow into our reality and what we don't. And that is what makes us masters. That is what really coming into our full power and our purpose is, because we are here to do that. We are here and we are all powerful.